The evacuation or miracle of Dunkirk, it evokes something different in everyone. I want to know what it evokes in you collectively and why you want to tell this story.
I'll go first so that no one steals my answer. For me, I think what it really is about, when you think of the Dunkirk spirit, when you think about if the story has a particular meaning, I think for me it's about communal heroism as opposed to individual acts of heroism. I think it's about the cumulative effect of small acts of human heroism and what we can achieve together rather than individually.
I would say I think it's very much about communal heroism and how these small acts can obviously lead to, yeah, thank you.
Does everyone agree with that? Okay, good. We'll go on to the next question. What was the best note you got from him?
I think Chris kind of creates this world around you where you don't have to act too much, and a lot of it is reacting. I think as much as anyone could possibly help you be in a situation, he creates that for you. So I think it's just not overthinking it and don't think about, acting too much. I think is kind of the best thing. Chris really kind of puts you at ease in terms of, just say what you need to say, kind of don't overthink it. And I think if you're trying to act, you obviously don't want to be kind of overthinking anything. So yeah, I think Chris just creates an environment on set where you feel very, you're not intimidated so much by the scale of everything that's going on behind you. He makes it feel very intimate with you and the camera, and it helps to not distract you. So I'd say, yeah, that kind of really, and he's nice.
Stephen.
For Harry, this is a supporting role, and I assume that your people, your agents or whatever, have given you proposals where, like Elvis or Eminem, you would have made your movie debut in a starring role. Why did you decide this was the way for you to go? And for Christopher, did you, when you were starting out, worry that his celebrity might overshadow his co-stars who were virtually unknown to a mass audience?
I think for me, when I first heard about, Chris making this film, I was kind of already excited to watch it. I think it's something that I would have been excited for had I had absolutely no involvement. And I think other than, the urge to want to get involved in it and try and, do anything to kind of be a part of it, I can't say I really thought too much other than that about it. I think everyone being on Chris's set, he's so passionate about it and it's so infectious and creates this environment where everyone, cast and crew, I think there's one focus, and it's doing the best for him and doing the best for the film and making it as good as it can possibly be. And I don't think there's really any room to think about anything too personal other than that. I feel like there's kind of, everyone has the same goal, and that's just to do their part for the film, really.
Right here.
My question is for Harry, Finn, and the rest of the guys. What was your awareness of the Dunkirk operation beforehand, and what was your research? Did you go to some of your older relatives and talk to them about it, or what was your research process, or did you feel you needed to?
Well, I think it's obviously something that you learn at school. I think, like Chris has said, it's told in this very kind of washed over way. It's it's not. You're often taught about the end of the war, and there was obviously so many events after it. I think it's often looked over in terms of just how pivotal it was, and obviously the events that came afterwards. So I think it was, I think we all feel kind of lucky to be a part of something that gets to tell such an important story in a little more detail than I think it's usually told in. Yeah.
Right over here.
Yes, my question is for Harry Styles. So how did you, making your debut in a Chris Nolan film is so impressive. How did you prepare for your role, and what did you learn from your fellow cast members?
I think being on a set like this, it's hard to not just be always learning. I feel like being around people that you're a fan of just feels like a privilege. I think you try and soak up as much of that as possible. I think Chris has, like Mark mentioned earlier, Chris has this way of, he's not really controlling you, and I think it gives you a confidence to kind of be as natural as you possibly can. You never feel like you're trying to kind of hit too many notes at the same time. He never has you overthinking stuff. And you know, I've just felt very lucky to be on, you know, the set of a man that I'm personally a fan of his work, with a group of actors who I'm also a fan of their work too. So I just felt very grateful to be involved, truly.
Last question, Cindy.
For Christopher Nolan and Harry, could you talk about physically what was the toughest scene to film? And for Mr. Nolan, what is the one scene that gets you the most in this movie, if you have a favorite?
How was it for you physically?
It's great for me physically. You should answer that one.
It was terrible for me physically. I think the thing was that everyone on set was incredibly aware of how obviously anything, however tough it got for us, it was nothing compared to what was happening. And you know, I think the focus that we all had to kind of do our jobs to try and be a part of telling the story, there wasn't really any room for personal discomfort or complaining. It's also impossible to complain on a set where your director's going through the exact same thing as you. He's, you know, like Mark said, he's not in a tent, he's in the water with you, he's in the sand with you, he's cold, he's the first one there and the last one to leave. And I think it's, if anyone kind of thought about complaining, they kind of were like, yeah, I might not do that actually, because...
I want all the actors to answer this question. Given the fact that there wasn't a lot of dialogue in this movie, what does a Christopher Nolan script even look like? Harry Styles, let's start with you.
I think the thing with Chris's script is very is the same across a lot of his older movies, is that they lend themselves to multiple viewings, and I feel like you learn new things each time you watch it, and I feel like it's very much the same. I felt when reading the script is you kind of learnt new things and found new things that you were excited about within it. Yeah, I think that's kind of, once you get your head around it, because they're obviously so technical, you kind of enjoy it more and more the more times you read it, which is obviously amazing.